Hey, this is Justin here, and this is the finals of the SuperSpeed event over at the 39th Swedish Open. This match is going to be played between Mislav, who's on top, and Michy, who is on the bottom. And the video today was provided by Mate, who recorded the entire event. If you give the video a like and follow me and Mate, that would be great. Let's get into this video now. Alright, let's see how this goes.
Can you select the match, Mislav?
Transcription
I use
here.
black and you use
We'll go over
you are black?
the XG analysis after.
I roll, you use
So
black.
let's just see how
so dice doesn't matter.
Okay.
this match goes. For 3, 2 down. Double twos should be make the 4-point and 24 to 22. Play 13, 11, 2. I think the best play is to play up from the back. So 3-1 makes the 5-point. 6-3 hits. 3-5. So 5 and 3 down hits the checker. 3-2. You should probably enter on the 23 and hit on the 5-point. Yeah, I don't like that. Double threes. No, just make the bar. Just make the bar.
Oh, this is not good.
He knows it too. Yeah, I think you just gotta make. Yeah, oh my God, look at the size of that thing. You just make the 5-point on him. Oh my goodness. Speed is no joke. Speed is no joke. I mean, even the best players in the world, they just don't have the time to think about all of the possibilities. So they just have to go with what they see. Double, too good. Obviously, with him on the bar, if you roll a 4, you could just pick up the G.
1 point.
And if they enter, you can always just get a double and pass later. Wow, that was a bit of a sick one. 5-3 makes the 3-point. It's so much easier outside of the game with no pressure on me too to find the best plays, especially with the help of a computer. 4-3, 3-4, 6-5, just runs. 2-3, make the anchor and play the 2 down. 6-5 just runs all the way. 5-1, I just slot the 4.2. Yep. Slot the points in the hope of covering it later. So you play these 2 down, and maybe you can bring 2 more down. Yeah, you don't really want to make the 9 because you want to stop his 6s. Now he's got a board. Slot the points on the points. Double 4s. Just play them all down and then to the deuce point, maybe. Yeah, that's good. Start thinking about it. Double. What's the race here? He's up by a lot. 19 pips. I mean, you'd rather have the 5-point made, but I guess the computer says it's no good. It's not quite a double yet. Take. The other one up, yeah. 6-4 just makes the 3-point. Double 1, so you just make the 5-point. Yeah, you just make the 5, give yourself a good landing spot. 4-2. So you can just slot the bar. You could also slot the 2-point, but this is good. You want to have that point. 6-1 on me. All right, he got missed. That's the wrong 7. Make the point, bring it in. 5-1 all the way to the 5 point. Is he going? Nah, I don't think you want to go. Everything that isn't a 6 points on you. Seems a bit much, so 8-2, 6-1 looks like the play. There has to be a better opportunity to run off the anchor besides that one. 6-3 wouldn't have been wouldn't have been pointed on. Go figure. 6 and then make the ace point. Double 2s. You could just make the 4 point by switching all of them and then playing to the 3. Yeah, I don't really like that. It doesn't seem all that flexible. Double 3s fans. 6-1 makes the ace. 4-3. 2-5 just in. Double 2s just make it, then play from 4-2. Keep that board in case he decides to do something funny. 5-3, just break the outside point, no hitting. That would be insane. 6-1 just runs, and we're off to the races. 6-2, just bring them both in. Double 5s, uh-oh. Here we go, 2 off. Already, huh? 6-1, take it off. 3-1, not his best. 2-3. 4-3. Double 5s. Okay, that. I think that takes care of it. Yeah, not good enough. He's gonna need boxes or double 5s to even make it close. 31. This is like a resignation roll. 2-5. All right. He needs it now. Double 3s, not good enough. All right. Next game. Yeah, I mean, that one double 3s play from Michy earlier really hit the PR. It's hard to come back from a massive one like that so early. It's crazy. I mean, you just make the bar. It's a blocking point. Your number is forcing you to leave a blot anyway, so you just got to do the best that you can do with it. And making the bar was that. 4-3 splitting. Leading at the scores is better than 2 down for sure. For money, I always bring 2 down with the 4-3. I just like the way it plays. 6-3, it's on the 4 point. Double 4s, that and make the 5. Perfect. Double aces, wow, make the 5 and 24-23. Nice reply. 6-1 makes the bar. 5-1. You want to step up so your 6s play out and then the 5 comes down. You don't want to make the 2 point or anything silly like that. Make the 3 and bring that guy around. Bring him around. There you go. 4. Alright, this is interesting. Choosing to slot the bar. Nice play. I don't know if I could have done that one, but that's super strong. You got the extra spare there. Just hops out, hoping to be missed. Double 4s. Brutal. then you could come around all the way and make that point. Yeah, just like that. That fits perfectly. 3-5, not good enough, and the 5 comes in. He just really wants to make the bar now. 6-3 makes it and splits. You don't want to be stuck back on the 24 point. 4-1, so just hit. You could step up, but I think you should hit. Him fanning would be really good. What's he thinking about? The cube. All right. He's down 45 pips in the race. I mean, if he doesn't enter, he could be in trouble. Wow. Yeah, that's a big no double. Looks scared. Whoa. Wow. Past no double. I mean, he's got 9 numbers that just fan, and then some of his numbers aren't that good, and you can attack. Wow. Wow. That is definitely a speed pass. He is not a favorite to make that play over the board normally, for sure. And then to the 20, yeah, to the 18, to the 18. Wow. That was a monster, 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 monster take. We can take a look at that one later. Just make the 2 point, yeah. 5, 6. Nah, this is a cube. Yeah, you can't just come out. You're just going to be attacked everywhere. Everywhere. Just 6s, 4s, aces, 3s. Yikes. Yikes. Alright, well, luckily he's got the anchor. 4-2. You could point on him. I wonder what the best play was there. I don't have time to look. Everything's going so fast. So you hit, just safety the guy. You don't want to break the point to hit twice. You just kind of want to get around and just slot. There you go. You do not get to come around here. Yeah, just to the 2 point. It's a little inflexible. We don't want to give him an extra blot to bat around. So hit loose, make the 4, and then, yeah, we can play this. Could also play 13-11 because you've got double anchors. You're not all that concerned about being hit. 5-3 just makes it. There you go. 13-5. 2-1 just come up and hit. Boom. 4 and then 2 just goes from 6 to 4. 4-2. Yeah, just into the 6 looks alright. 3-1 makes the 3 point. 3-2 just goes to the 8. 3-5. I think you should, yeah, just come out. Helps your flexibility. You're not too concerned about him rolling those, wow, aces. Okay. Congratulations, yeah. You don't just 5-4, just come out again. That checker on the outside is just trying to control the outfield in case he rolls a 5 and escapes. He's got some sort of contact with him, so he just keeps on hopping out. He's double anchored. He's not all that concerned, you know? You just don't want that last guy to go. You just don't want him to go. 4-2, hit. No? Okay, maybe not. I want to hit, though. I want to hit soon. I don't want him rolling a 5. Double to 4. Okay. Strong. Wow. Okay. Hit now? don't want him to roll a 5 and just lose control over the outfield. Now you hit. I wanted to hit before. I don't know how wrong it was, but definitely hitting now is right. Oh, there goes the 5-2. Punishment. Double threes hits. Double threes hits. Double threes hits. He missed the hit. Oh my goodness. Double. Wow. And then just oh my goodness, from the win to the, oh, wow. Absolutely brutal. Wow, and the 5s just bring it in so easy. Wow, the double threes hit. He missed it. Oh, that's too sick. They don't call it, I guess, super speed for nothing. Wow. I just play over his head. I don't really want him fanning. I just need to win the game. Gammons don't really mean anything here. I don't want him just making a point. I don't know. I don't really like hitting, but there you go. Double 2s and just play safe. Yep, there you go. Just gotta win the game. 6-2. 5-2. Yeah. When he enters, it's just over. And he enters. And this 5-point match is over. Wow. All right. Well, that was fun.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So I overlooked.
3-3.
He's talking about it.
3-3 was a hit.
Yeah, he sees it
I
now.
didn't see it.
Yeah, happens in speed.
This board
In
was
super speed.
But
so
you
strong.
saw.
Yes,
You
I
saw
saw
it.
3.
So-
But after you moved, not immediately. It
Uh-huh.
was not obvious. Bit, After you moved, I was like, oh, maybe you could. Yeah. Didn't see it right away. I mean, I was like, yeah.
We'll get to the XG analysis in a second. Let's just hear them talk.
The check was here.
Yeah.
So right now it looks like Mislav played a 3.95 and Michy, of
Yeah,
course,
it was not obvious
missed
you
the
are
hit,
leaving
which
this,
was
the only role where you leave
massive.
this
That
is
just goes
free.
from
But
You know,
I think it's kind of
almost
obvious
losing to
because
just definitely winning in
before
a
I
single
roll,
shake.
I should imagine 11 and 12.
Yeah,
And
11
that
and 12.
pass
Yeah.
earlier,
So I should
super speed,
Yeah.
super speed. That was exciting.
I was just
Wow.
thinking about.
You know, you
my
never see these sorts
direction.
of blunders in
And
a
I
regular
kinda- I
match.
mean,
It's just not
Normally
possible.
you don't leave
Players of this
point, and
caliber,
you had a nice
given the
play,
time
so,
to
I
just
mean, I can
kind of
understand
think
why
about a
it
position,
happened,
you
but-
just
I mean, I
never
was
miss
thinking
that.
about my
You know,
cube
it's
about the cube.
it's
actually.
just
Yeah,
such
so
such
my
a
four
great
cube was
role
good,
that you
one
have.
not. That's
Yeah,
what
I think it is a
was
good
thinking.
cube. The
He's got
score, you
time.
cannot
I
go
mean,
too
he's
bad,
not
too wrong with the cube, I
losing
think.
on time. He's
Yeah,
got
but with
27
the
seconds
5-1,
left.
I
He's
would
got
just
time to
hit
look
right
at it. He's
away
not.
because I had the
It's the
block
last
here.
game in a 5-point match. The other
Yeah.
guy's
If I
holding
run
the
with
4
fives,
cube.
You don't have much. You have a high
Yeah, he
holding
didn't need
game.
But
to
if you don't roll 5,
move
you
that
have
quickly, but
another
it's just
problem.
so
Yeah,
much
that is
easier
true.
from the
Yeah,
outside
okay,
to see
that's
these
another,
things than it is
yeah.
Yeah.
over the
I
board.
just thought fives are a
in
bit
the game, you
expensive.
know?
Or maybe you're right.
And
maybe.
Wow.
even you roll 5,
Intense.
still you have very
All right,
Yeah,
let's
because
just
yeah.
Okay, maybe you're right.
continue with the
Just what I
analysis
would do,
here.
but,
Yeah.
maybe
go
maybe
to-
and wow,
go to
4-way,
XG.
3-way was an interesting cube. I'm not sure. You think it's a clear pass, or you were not sure?
I was not sure.
Yeah, me neither was I. Yeah. Because if I don't hit you, it's not. I mean, okay. Well, yeah.
And let's see what this looks like. All right, we've got the match here. The analysis is
I don't
done.
know.
Let's take a look at what's going on.
Okay. Yeah. So anyway, congratulations. Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, 4-3-2 down. So yeah, the
Like
double
in your other
twos.
events you're playing.
Yeah.
He played 2 down, but when they bring 2 down and they're just dedicating
Šta je
themselves to
bilo?
offense, right?
Dobio, ništa nisam mogao, ništa nisam mogao, mislim, evo,
Stop this video.
volim da ga analiziraš ovaj meč.
So they're just kind of dedicating themselves to offense, right? And so you kind of do want to make a more advanced anchor. You don't want to necessarily just make the 4 and make the 11 in this sort of position, because what's going to happen is they're likely to make the 5 or the 4, and you might end up getting prime. So making the 4-point and then stepping up from 24 to 22 is definitely the idea here. Let's just run through. 3-1 makes the 5. Hits, enters, and hits, obvious. Yeah, so we chose to make the anchor, but with the 2 blots on the outside here, on the 15 to 16 points, it says it's just better to hit loose. You, for one, deny him from making his own 5-point defensive anchor or 20-point defensive anchor, which is big. And if he enters poorly, you get to make the 5-point and then have the potential to pick up the extra blots on the outside. The double threes play, wow. Wow, that's huge. So it ends up being like a 335 error. It is better just to make the bar, so it's not like this play is a safe play, right? You're leaving a blot still on the 7-point, and you're leaving a blot after you make the bar on the 9-point, right? So you've got a blot and you've got a blot in both situations. And in situations like this where you're going to leave a shot regardless of what you do, there's no way to really get around that in this position without doing something insane like playing, I don't know, what is it, like 10 to 1 and then 9 to 6, which would be like just as bad of an error as this one. You just try to do the best that you can with what you've got. And in these situations, I just always kind of lean towards creating permanent assets and creating structure, right? So if he doesn't roll the 6, you can clearly see how your position is much better, right? You might roll an ace next roll, and then you just kind of hem him in. You might roll a number to make the 4-point, and he just doesn't get to leave with those numbers. You're just creating permanent structure. But when you make this other point, you're not blocking anything on the 10-point. He's on the 3. You'd rather be within the blocking zone here. Being on the 10 doesn't really do anything. In the instant he hit the clock, he noticed it. He just goes, like he just knew that just wasn't the play, but there's no going back, and you don't know how many games you're going to play, especially in this first game. And so you don't know what kind of time you're going to need in later, more complicated games. So a play was made, the dice were picked up, and that was that. And the error was made. So, this kind of made for an exciting match. You just get to see errors that you don't normally see. So here is a pretty strong cube for black. They've got an advanced anchor. They've got 2 guys back versus the other team's 3 guys back. They've got a lot of numbers to attack and then make the 5. They've got the 4 just to hit on the 18-point. I'm not sure if I would have. I'm not sure if I personally would have cubed this either. But no, it's strong. It's strong for sure. And then of course after the 6-1 makes the 5-point, yeah, you can see why it was a double the roll before, because it's just a market loss, right? He didn't enter, and now it's just too good. It's clearly too good. Sitting on the sidelines looking at it through the lens of XG. But what's really going to go wrong, right? Even like double 5s makes the 3-point. It's not all that bad, Double 4s, of course, plays and hits there. Double 3s makes the bar. What are your bad numbers in this position that are going to make it so bad that you can't then just double next roll, right? You're going to make the bar. You're going to hit the checker. You're going to do a lot of things that could just blow the game out of the water and allow you to win 2 points in this game instead of just the 1. And if things do start to go a little sideways later on, you can always cube then. But, just give it a roll. Maybe something good will happen. You can't be afraid to allow good things to happen. All right, let's look at the second game. So 5-3 is clear. This is clear. It's not a big error to just play 2 down. I kind of like playing 2 down, though I don't do it often, because it's just, in my opinion, more difficult for the other person to play against 2 down than this play, even though it's a small error. Because if you split into the contact here, I mean, obviously you're talking about like the best players in the world. They know how to play these positions almost flawlessly, especially in slow play, right? But against a lesser opponent, they will still know to attack you on the 21 point here, right? Whereas they might have some interesting decisions with other numbers. 6-5 runs, 3-2 anchor and down, 6-5 runs, of course. Okay, so not this. What's the best play? 5 down and make this. It's almost nothing. Down, 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 double. So this is not a double. They're ahead 15 pips in the race, but I guess there aren't enough market losing sequences. Double sixes are going to lose the market, but the question is, does making the 5 point lose the market here? I guess at the score, for money, I would definitely double this, and I'm sure it's a good double for money. But no, he's down. I guess maybe even making the 5 isn't necessarily a market-losing sequence because of the race. Interesting. I liked this play. What was better? Yeah. This play leaves you more flexible and gives you better numbers to make the 5 point. I think over the board in a non-speed match, everyone finds this. Just playing 3-1 is strong. You're ahead in the race, and so you're not worried about the other guy running off the anchor. Because him running off the anchor, being down in the race, would be a mistake, and you can't be afraid for your opponent to make mistakes. That's what you want, right? And so this just makes your position much more robust. It puts spares on every point, and playing from 3-1 keeps those spares on those points to allow you to easily make the 5 point next roll, if you should be so lucky. 6-4, he makes the 3. Double aces, of course, makes the 5. 4-2 slots the bar. That was strong. I might have done something different, like not 8-2 necessarily, but no, making the bar is strong. You want, it's the right idea in the position, when you have 4 in a row, you want 5 in a row, and the bar might actually be the stronger point, because if you do get the shot later and he enters on the ace and you've got the bar made, well, he's not going anywhere. But if you make the 2 and he enters on the ace, he can leave with 6s. So it makes perfect sense, actually. 3-1, 6-2, blah, 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 4-3. All of this stuff is just, bum, bum, double 2s. Yeah, I didn't like this. Yeah, I said this. You should just switch from 6-4 and then play from 5-3. So you don't really want to have the gap on the 4 point, right? The gap on the 4 point can be considered a bit of a liability. What's the other plays? This. No, I don't like this either. I definitely just fill in the gap on the 4 and play from 5-3. You can see the resulting position here looks really strong, right? It's robust. You've got opportunities to then make the ace. And as you're bearing off later with a position like this, with the gap here, there's potential for him to enter here and just kind of sit here, as we saw, and have him play over his head. And you can just roll bad rolls. And the threat of rolling those bad rolls add up to the error you see over time. So just play down. Here we go. All right, nothing. Clear it all. Game over. Game 3. Yeah, so after the 4-3 split, at the score, it's better than 2 down leading, which is good to know. The 6-3 hits on the 4, just kind of denying him from making that point, starting your offense, and especially at the score, when you're 4 away, these plays are better. than just like running, right? Like if you just run, you can see it's a really sizable error, but the size of the error is bigger because of the score. If you win a gammon at this score, you win the match, right? So it's right for money. It's right at probably every score. It just wins more games and more gammons, double fours, perfecta of a roll. You hit and get to make the 5 point from the roof. I mean, if I could roll like this every day of my life, I'd be rich. Double ones. Just enter, make the 5. 6-1 makes the bar. Oh, we got to get to this cube in this game, right? Yeah, so that's a great roll. Make that point here. All right, so this double. So, effectively, it's a great cube because he passed, right? But why would it not be a good cube in this position? Even at the score where winning a gammon wins you the match, where you want to turn the cube much earlier to get those gammon match-winning games going, right? Well, straight away you could fan, right? Straight away you could just fan. So double sixes, double fives, double threes, 6-5, 6-3, 5-3. You regret your decision instantly. And then there's also other numbers that don't play so well from the roof, but definitely the worst ones are the fanning numbers, right? Now, you look at yourself and you're behind the 5 prime, right? But it's not a 6 prime. You're behind the 5 prime and you're ahead 45 pips in the race, which is worth a lot. It's worth a lot. There's a chance he enters with like, what is it, like 1-5, 1-6, numbers like, 2-5 are okay. They'll hit loose on the 3 potentially. Most likely. But when you enter with numbers like 1-5 and 1-6, you're also being primed, which is bad. Really bad. And he can just continue to attack you on the outside when you hop out, and things can turn around really, really quickly from numbers like that and all of those fanning numbers. But he got to pass, right? You got to pass. So I've often thought about this. If you make an incorrect decision, but it causes the opponent to make an even bigger blunder, was your play really a blunder at all? We don't know your intention. You might have thought it was a cube, but it got passed in a very big way. And, the error was on the magnitude of like, it's just massive, right? Here we go, back to game 3 here. Yeah, it's just massive. You're looking at like a 75% error. Black only wins 59% of games. White still wins 41% of games. And white wins more gammons than black. So he snuck one past the batter there. And I'm sure this is a time thing as well, though it does look quite threatening. It's a very interesting position. 4-1, 5-3, 6-3, 6-4. Makes the point. 6-5. Yeah, this is... it's just kind of bad giving him all these numbers. If we look at this position again, from here, 6s, 4s, 1s, 3s, all attack these guys here, right? It's just a lot. You get to hit 2 so easily that you just lose a lot. Where oftentimes when you enter in these positions, if you enter high on the 5, you would not play the checker on the 24 out to the bar for that same reason, because then sixes and ones and threes and ones all start to double hit things. So coming out is the same idea. It's just as bad. But from here, you're staying back with your checker on the 22 point. You play down, duplicating the sixes to hit. Now you can see it takes the fours out of the equation. It takes the coming around the corner with sevens out of the equation. All of a sudden you can get hit and then enter with numbers like a 3 to make an anchor. It just plays much safer. And because of this other play, the one he made here, he cubed. And it's a good cube, a strong one. The potential in this position is there. And you can cube a little earlier at this score. So you just go in, double, and the punishment ensues. The double hit. He enters, though, very well. He gets to make his anchor. And then the 4-2. Yeah, you see, you just make the point. I was thinking this, but it looks ugly from the outside, right? It looks ugly from the outside. You're playing with 5 blots. I can see why you wouldn't want to do it, but you're increasing the strength of your board. You're giving him the opportunity to fan, and this picks up a lot of momentum. He could enter and not hit, then you can continue the attack on the 3 point, on the ace point. He could not enter at all. He could enter and hit one, but all of these checkers kind of are protecting each other. If he hits you, he's likely to only want to hit you with the checker that's entering, right? Because if he enters and breaks his anchor to hit, it's just insanity. Like you're just going to be hit back on the 5-pointer on the outside, and if you don't make it again, you just get blitzed off the board. So it is a bit safer than it appears, because he's only really going to want to hit you with the guy that's entering, and then all of those checkers really, really kind of protect each other. So if he hits you on the 7, 8, or 9 point, those kind of protect each other. If he hits you on the 16 point, well, it's another story. But we can see, just making the extra point is best. 5-3, just hit. So he enters, 6 down, 3-1, double 2. So yeah, 13-11 was best. We can see that over what was played over the board, which is this one. It's not a big error, but generally, when you're holding 2 points in your opponent's home board, you're allowed to play a bit more open, because you're a lot less concerned about being blown off the board, because it's just impossible for you to be blown off the board, right? You're holding the 5 and the 4 point. He hits you, you enter on the ace, you enter on the 3. Maybe you make more points in his home board, things that he doesn't want, especially with the extra checker on the 23, which he's itching to use, and he's got the 2 point made. You make the ace point in a game like this, and you're doing really well. Winning percentage wise, you could lose the gammon, but that's another story. So 13-11 just makes your position a bit more offensive, a bit more dynamic, while you have that security back in the home board. 6-4, fans, 5-3, of course, just makes it. 2-1, hits, and this looks all clear. Double ones. Let's get down to the errors. 5-1. Yeah, so I said hit here. Okay, so it wasn't wrong by much, yeah. So it duplicates the 2s to hit back. But one of the things I hate doing in these positions is kind of losing outfield coverage. So it's really small not to hit here. I would have hit here. But it's important to notice the idea of hitting here, right? Like, you do not want this guy to just roll a 5 and get past your defense, right? And as the guy on the 16 comes to the 10, now more 5s just get past you, right? The 5-4, obviously the 5-5, the 5-6, just sneak past the guy. Yes, he could roll a 2, but there is a blot in the home board. You do have a double anchor. You're not that concerned about getting hit. You just don't want the last guy to escape. The adage is attack a blot like prime when there's more than one checker back, right? So he's got just one guy back. You need to attack him and try to get him off the board. And if you think about that, like I did, you hit here, even though it was slightly wrong. He redoubles here. This is a good position. I mean, he's breaking, essentially, on his next roll. You're going to be attacking, or I thought you would be attacking right away with any number that hit on the deuce point. And if he just doesn't enter well, the game can just be over very quickly. So when he rolls the 5-1, I think you got to attack. You just kind of have to. Things could go bad, but, you know, this game now is being played for the match. And so you'll notice when you look at the percentages that you want to make the play that wins the most games. There are no gammons anymore, right? And as the person holding the back game, once you flip the cube, you've eliminated your gammons, and so you're just making the best play to win the game, right? And we can see that hitting on the deuce point wins about 3% more games. So you hit on the deuce. Just, you know, think good things can happen. Think he's going to fan and be all right. Or think that if he doesn't fan, he's going to hit you on the deuce, and you hit the guy on the 24 when you enter. You roll an ace. Don't be afraid for things to go good. 5-2 runs out. Okay, so let's say you hit and he rolls a 5-2. Okay. That stinks. But, you know, you got to do what you got to do. You could have rolled an ace from the roof. You didn't. And now double threes. Wow. So this was the decider right here. It hits. If you just put your cursor or just something over the blot and you just count threes going backwards from 9 to 12, from 12 to 15, from 15 to 18, from 18 to 21, you'll see that it ends up where yellow checker is. And I suggest you do this so you don't miss these sorts of things. You won't miss hits. You won't miss all of these other sorts of things if you just kind of go backwards in that sort of position. Wow, yeah. I mean, that's the whole match right there. I mean, it's not the whole match. It ended up being the whole match. I mean, he's still holding double anchors. The guy could mess up and leave a shot, and you could hit the shot, and you could just win that way. But missing this, obviously, was very costly. And I'm sure he noticed, like we always do when we play really quickly, right after you pick up the dice or you've hit the clock, and you just go, I can't believe it. I just can't believe it. 4-2, and we know the story, double fives, sixes this way. What's better? Okay, it's almost nothing. 4-1, yeah, hitting doesn't really accomplish much. We want him to be forced out with his sixes instead of dancing, because if he dances for a while, we could get to a spot where we have to break from the 6 point while he's still on the roof, whereas if we let him continue to roll, he would have left with one and he would have only had a single shot. Instead, he could fan for a while, which means he doesn't have to force his board forward. He doesn't have to leave with the second guy. He could enter and make the 4 point, and then your double twos that are coming up would have played real funny. But after double twos, the match is pretty much over. So now I hope you like this match. I thank Mate for recording these out at the, the Swedish Open? Where was this? Let me look at this again, yeah. He's doing great work. Please just go subscribe to his channel, subscribe to mine, like the video, and maybe I'll make more in the future. All right. Have a good night. Peace.